Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 1. Woe to her that is filthy and polluted, to the oppressing city. She obeyed not the voice, she received not correction, she trusted not in the Lord, she drew not near to her power. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem Rakakadash, for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. And this is going into this whole big 250-year, you know, stamp that America has been a nation, a country, whatever you want to say. And that verse that I just read in Zephaniah 3 and 1, that was concerning the Israelites. And the Israelites, you know, during the time of Zephaniah were very wicked. The same as, when any of the prophets were on the scene, the Israelites were wicked, man. Not all, but the majority of the Israelites were wicked. The same in this time, the time of Babylon the Great, this last captivity. If you look at our people, you see that our people are very wicked, you know, and evil. So, with that being said, what was one of the punishments that the Israelites, that would happen to the Israelites in the form of curses, for their disobedience and their wickedness, being brought to a land that they know of not, being a stranger in the land, being a slave in the land that they know is not. And today, not just in America, which, a lot of Israelites are in America, but we are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And us being scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, we are in the same positions throughout the four corners of the earth. We are slaves wherever we are, right? But you got America celebrating the rich history and the the 250-year stamp that you know this country has made it to, with all of its evil, its oppression, and they will have you think that America is the great city, the great golden city that if you come here, you're sure to prosper. No, if you come here, you're sure to be oppressed. And Jake has been oppressed more than any nation on the planet, not just here in America, but wherever they are, right? But not only is Jake being oppressed in America, but now the citizens of Babylon are being oppressed. Them of every nation is being oppressed, you know? So there's a huge crying out for change. People would like to think that it's Trump that's doing this, that's destroying their lives. But no, it's Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And the end the end goal for the Lord is to destroy America, Babylon the Great, which is known in the scriptures as the oppressing city, which is known in the scriptures as the bloody city, right? Which is known in the scriptures as Babylon the Great, man. Let's get another one and we're going to play it. This is Nahum chapter 3, verse 1. It says, woe, meaning destruction. Woe to the bloody city. Why is it a bloody city? Because it has shed the blood of the children of Israel, man. The blood of the Israelites is soaked in the soil of America, man. Bones, almost anywhere you dig up uh in America, if you dig deep enough, you will find bones of Israelites there. You know why? Because this is the bloody city. What else is it? It says it is all full of lies and robbery. And what's the lies, man? That you know, uh, uh, Christianity is the way. The people, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, they're just niggas and spicks and nothing else, right? That the people that are over there in the land of Israel, those are the people. Do as you will. The Lord said, "Come as you are. Be happy. Be merry. Love who you want to love. It's okay to be a Mo, right? What's the robbery, right? How you robbed a nation, one nation of their nationality, their heritage, who they are, right? And what nation has been robbed of that? The Israelites, the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans. And America's the number one country that's pushed this out throughout time and a dispensation of time, man. Right? It says, it is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not, man. Meaning they're still oppressing us. They're still killing us. Right? They still got their foots on our necks, man. And Jake is just, he waking up to this fact. And this is why this whole system is about to crash and this whole country is about to go into total anarchy and hell. So let's play this. Shabbat Shem Shah Willing, the Leg Be Edified. Shalom.
America, your 250 years means nothing to me. While you were celebrating your independence, we were in bondage. While you were celebrating your independence, we were in chains. While you were celebrating your independence, our families were ripped apart. We were beaten, raped, stripped of our very identity while you were celebrating your independence. While you celebrated your independence, we were lynched. While you celebrated your independence, we were Jim Crowed. While you celebrated your independence, we were forced to go to segregated schools and forced to sit in the colored section in the back of the bus while you were celebrating your independence. While you celebrated your independence, we were subjected to literacy tests and poll taxes. While you celebrated your independence, while you celebrated your independence, our churches were bombed and our babies were killed. While you celebrated your independence. While you celebrate your independence today, our right to vote has been diluted and our voices diminished. While you celebrate your independence today, young Black men like Cyrus lose their lives and there's no justice while you celebrate your independence. So yeah, your 250 years means nothing to me.
In case you haven't heard, this 4th of July marks the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. There are going to be great and many celebrations across the country to observe it. But my question is, after all we have been through over the last 250 years and before, should Black people be celebrating the 250th anniversary of the birth of this country?
And that's a question that a lot of so-called Negroes should ask themselves, man. But honestly, in the last 2 years, I've been seeing less and less of Jake, which I know they're out there, But I've been seeing less and less of Jake celebrating, these holidays, man. Memorial Day passed. I didn't see a lot of activity from Jake. Juneteenth passed. I didn't see a lot of activity from Jake. And 4th of July, well, that's today. But, you still gonna have Jake going to see the fireworks and being, around the festivities and all this and all that. But I don't know if, uh they're gonna cook out and do everything, which I know they probably are, but I'm talking about in the grand scheme and the whole in the masses. Jake just ain't with these holidays no more, man. Right? So this is just showing you Jake is waking up slowly but surely, man. The Lord is putting spirit on Jake to come out of Babylon, man. You're still gonna have 2/3 that's gonna get destroyed here because they all in. America go down, they want to go down. So they gonna go down. But for the most part, Jake is just, he coming out of this, man. And all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Let's face it, we were not brought here as immigrants. We were brought here as imports. We were not counted as full human beings in the Constitution, but 3/5 of a man. We were bound, shackled, raped, sold, lynched, and more. Then there was a civil war over us, and while the freedom side won, it wasn't long before segregation replaced slavery. Then for a brief hiatus, we had great strides, and now we're back at Jim Crow 2.0 in 2026. So I repeat, should Black people celebrate the 250th anniversary of the United States of America?
This July 4th, America's turning 250 years old, but American slavery did not end until 163 years ago. In 1776, in the home of the brave, Blacks were still enslaved.
And slavery is still up and running, man. It's just in another form. 2026, you so-called Negroes and Latinos are still in slavery. And Native Americans, you're still in slavery until this very day. You can read that in the book of, let me get it real quick. Baruch, right? Baruch chapter 3 and verse 8. It says, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us, because we're still scattered. If we're still scattered, we're still in captivity, right? It says, for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our power, man. So we're still captives. We're still captives, man. So if you think that slavery ended 183 years ago, then that's a lie, man. Because you're still a slave. They give you the sense of, oh, I'm free. I don't have shackles on. I can go to work. I can make my own money. I can buy my own car. I can get a house. I can get a raise. Could go on vacation. So you think that you're free just like everybody else, but no, man. This country is showing you still you're on a level, man. Right? And you'll never pass that level. Because what? You're a slave, man. They'll let some through to give you some sense of hope, to make you think that, look, there are a lot of Black billionaires, right? And millionaires. So we got it just like they got it. No, we don't. Because the court system shows you that you don't. The jail system shows you don't. The medical system shows you don't. The workforce shows you don't. Right? It's oppressing you all across the board, man. But you are still in captivity to this day.
It wasn't until 1787 that we were considered 3/5 of a person and still remained property. In the Dred Scott case of 1857, it was ruled that Black slaves were not considered American citizens. Therefore, the abolishment of slavery in the Western territories was prohibited. 5 years later, Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, and it wasn't until 1865 that the slaves of Galveston, Texas, were aware that they were freed. So excuse us for not pledging our allegiance or yelping out the Star Spangled Banner, but enjoy the fireworks show.
says after the Continental Congress declared independence and then declared war, General George Washington initially banned black men from joining the military, which you shouldn't want to join that bullshit military anyway. It says, but when he began losing more and more battles, he relented, after which over 5,000 black men volunteered and helped lead the colonists to a 1783 victory over Britain. But despite volunteering and helping to lead America to victory, many of the survivors among those 5,000 black men were re-enslaved after the war. What the F, man? So it's the same thing, man. It's the same thing today. You go and fight their war. You go and fight their war, help them, right? A war that shouldn't even have been fought, right? You go and help them because they weak as hell. You know, our people are the greatest warriors to ever live, right? Our forefathers. You go and help them, but then after you win the war, you help them win the war. As soon as you get back in the States, your ass is a slave, man. Right? You a slave. Come on, man. That's why I've never understood why our people join the military, man. You join the military and then come home after serving a tour, and as soon as you step foot on American soil, you get in your car, you drive down the block, you get pulled over by the cops and get banged on the car and probably shot dead by a officer of the law, right? It's just a lose-lose, man.
The US will celebrate 250 years of America this summer, but let's be real about what these years were really about. Number 1, genocide of Native Americans. Number 2, abducting and enslaving Black Africans. And right now, funding Israel's genocide in Gaza with your money.
I hate when they say that, Black Africans. What is that, man? Africans, all Black people are not the same, man. Right? We are Israelites. So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are Israelites. So-called Negroes are not Africans. So-called Black Americans are not Africans, man. We are two different types of people. We might have the same kind of dark skin because Hamites have that dry, itchy looking dark skin. And Israelites have that glowing, ruddy, reddish type dark skin that shines in the sun, man. That's smooth looking. Come on, man.
Let's look at the real American timeline for a second. 1776, America is founded on stolen land and enslaved people. 1830s to the 1890s, systematic genocide of Native Americans. 1950s to present day, America funds wars, coups, and occupations across the global south.
And you heard it. You seen it. It says, signed by President Andrew Jackson on May 28, 1830, the Indian Removal Act authorized the president to negotiate with Southern Native American tribes to exchange their ancestral lands. Negotiated. They didn't negotiate a damn thing, man. Right? They came over there and they slaughtered the Native Americans, man. Right? It says, of the Mississippi River for federal territory west of the Mississippi. While the act was theoretically voluntary, Jackson's administration heavily coerced tribal leaders, leading to force relocations of over 60,000 Native Americans and thousands of deaths along the infamous Trail of Tears, man. So they colonized, they raped, robbed, and murdered the Native Americans, man. They didn't negotiate nothing, man. They probably made little, they probably had little conversations here and there, but it was always in this devil's mind to use force and bloodshed to get what he wants. He ain't coming over there talking, man. These people are murderous, violent, evil, wicked ass people, man.
As America approaches its 250th anniversary, we are telling the stories that were never written down. Because not every American family story begins with immigration, or independence, or freedom. Some begin long before 1776. Some begin on this land with families who never crossed an ocean because they were already here. If our ancestors could speak, they might begin by reminding us that Native American families were not lost, they were removed. Before removal, there was belonging. Before there were borders, there were nations. Before there were states, there were kinship systems, complex, intentional, and sacred. Families were not just nuclear units, they were clans, communities, stories carried through generations. Children knew where they belonged. They knew their names. They knew who they came from. Identity was not a question. Then came policies. If our ancestors could speak, they would tell us that removal was not accidental. It was designed. Families were forced from their homelands under laws that treated indigenous people as obstacles to progress. The Trail of Tears was not just a march. It was the shattering of families. Parents buried children along the way. Elders collapsed from exhaustion. Entire family lines disappeared between forced departure and arrival. Those who survived were expected to start over on land that was never theirs. If our ancestors could speak, they might speak of the children, because the next policy was not just about land. It was about identity. Native children were taken from their families and placed into boarding schools. They were given new names. Their hair was cut. Their languages were forbidden. Their ceremonies were punished. They were told, kill the Indian, save the man. Families who tried to resist were threatened. Children learned very quickly that survival meant silence.
And when you read the book of First Maccabees, I believe maybe the first or second chapter. It was the same thing during the time of the Greeks when they conquered, the Israelites, and they told them that they couldn't practice their laws and be a part of their heritage. They couldn't call themselves Jews. They had to call themselves Greeks. It's the same thing, man. When Esau takes when he conquers you, he doesn't just conquer your land, man. He comes and he conquers you as a individual as well, man. He strips you of your heritage. He beats it out of you, who you are, and a lot of our people, they out of fear they left their heritage, but there were a lot of our people that died instead of transgression against Yahweh Bashem Shah, man. It's gonna be the same way on this side, man. You're gonna have 2/3 that's gonna die, that's gonna give in to Esau Edom and his philosophy, and you're gonna have, you know, those of our people that's gonna stay with Yahweh Shem Shah. Lord willing, I'm one of those people, man. Right? That the Lord gave me the strength to go all the way with this, because that's what I really want, man. But in this country, it hasn't been good for you tribes. Jeremiah 50:33, it says, and Salakia, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, man. And both kingdoms is being oppressed here in America today. Right? It says, and all that took them captives held them fast, and they refused to let them go, man. And this devil, they're always talking about go back to Africa, get out of the country, go back to Mexico, go back to, where you came from and this and that. But if every single Israelite left America, this place would fucking crash in a half a day, man. And Esau will try to bring, the so-called white man will try to bring his red ass to wherever we at, right? Because we gonna prosper wherever we go. As far as, the Lord saying we ain't gonna prosper here, under the rulership of these devils. But if the Lord, took all the Israelites and put them on on the other side of the earth, which we gonna do, which he's gonna do, right? And just left us over there. Do you know how prosperous we would be where we at? And these devils, they'll go back to their goddamn first estate, eating out of each other's skulls and grunting, and they ain't gonna have shit, man. Right? And they know that. They know that, man. So they was happy when they was ruling over us, man, because they know who they had. All right, we can make billions, trillions off of these people, man. That's what they have done. Free labor. Right? America was built up off the bloodshed and the backs of the Israelites, man. And this country is about to pay for it. This country is about to pay for it, man. Right? Ezekiel. Let's get Ezekiel chapter 22 and verse 1. I'm going to start at 1. I'm going to start at 2. Ezekiel 22 and 2, it says, now, thou son of man, wilt thou judge? Wilt thou judge the bloody city? Yea, thou shalt shew all her abominations. And that's what this, like I said, this was talking about Israel, but you can also put America into this, man. Right? You can add America into this, because America is known as the bloody city as well. Right? And it's the city of abominations. Verse 26. It says, her priests have violated my law and have profaned my holy things. They have put no difference between the holy and profane, neither have they showed difference between the unclean and the clean, and have hid their eyes from my Sabbaths. And I am profane among them, man. So this is what 2/3, is doing, man. And they've always been 2/3. The same way it was back then, it's the same way the 2/3 are right now, man. Right? It says, her princes in the midst thereof are like wolves ravening the prey, to shed blood and to destroy souls, to get this honest gain, man. And that's where you have your leaders, your Christian pastors, right? The ones that have been set up by Esau Edom to keep our people from knowing who they are, to continue to confuse our people, right? It says, verse 28, and her prophets have daubed them with untempered mortar, seeing vanity and divining lies unto them. Yeah, man. Christian pastors tell you, we all one, right? Come as you are. The Lord loves you no matter what kind of lifestyle you're in. The Lord gonna kill you, man, if you don't do what he told you, right? It says, saying, thus saith the Lord power, when the Lord have not spoken. Yeah, exactly. Saying the Lord said this, the Lord said that. Don't worry about it. Verse 29, it says, the people of the land have used oppression and exercised robbery and have vexed the poor and needy. Yea, they have oppressed the stranger wrongfully, man. Right? The leaders, Esau, Edom, has used so-called Negroes and Latinos to oppress their own people, to get gain, right? To do all of the above, man. And they're going to pay for that. 2/3 of our people, they're going to pay for that, man. They're not going to, the Lord is going to come visit them. As, you know, it tells you in the book of Jeremiah, the 23rd chapter, about the pastors. You know, it's it ain't going to be good for them, man. Right? What else? Let's get one more. We're gonna let the rest play. Hosea 4:1, it says, hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel, for the Lord have a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of the Most High in the land, man. And this land is America, man. Right? It says, by swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out and blood touching blood. All of these things are very high in America. All of them, man. All these things are very high in America. You know? Completely going against Yahweh Shem Yahushua is very promoted and supported here in America, man. Verse 3. Therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish. With the beasts of the field and with the fowls of heaven, yea, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away. So the Lord is you see all of these plagues coming on the earth, the fishes washing up on the sea, all these cattle just dying, the cows, you know, the cattle that we use to eat and things like that, the clean beasts, right? The clean fishes and beasts, period. They're dying out, man. The Lord gonna completely strip America, Babylon the Great, of all its glory and all its riches and all these things, man. Why? Because this place is abominable, man. That's why, right? This place is abominable. So let's finish this off. I got one more. We're going to shut it down.
Many children never returned home. Some died at the schools. Some forgot their languages. Some grew up unable to speak to their parents. Entire generations lost the ability to pass down who they were. Grandparents could not teach what had been beaten out of them. This was not assimilation. This was erasure.
As we celebrate the 250th year of the United States of America, my beautiful people, we have not overcame. And it is not Independence Day for us on July the 4th. Because that dream he had, he's somewhere asleep, still dreaming. Because we're nowhere near it. The new cotton field is the prison system. Your credit score, poverty, below poverty levels, homosexuality, all of it is orchestrated by them to keep you in the same place your ancestors was in.
Yeah, all that stuff is to keep you in sin, man. All of that's to keep you in sin. You know? It's all to keep you in sin and keep you far from Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, because this devil knows that when you return to your power, he's done. Baruch 4:29, it says, for he that brought these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy again with your salvation, because the Lord put us here. The Lord put this hell on us, man. So the Lord's saying the same one, being me, putting this hell on you is going to be the same one that's going to bring you out of it and make you happy. It says, take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee, right? Miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoice of thy fall. Miserable are the cities which thy children serve. Miserable is she that received thy sons. And that's what America is about to be. And all of these countries who took in the Israelites and made them slaves and destroyed them and oppressed them, man, and killed them and raped, robbed, and murdered them, man. They're all going to pay for that. It says, for as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. For I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning. And that's what you're about to see happen to America, Babylon the Great, man. Her pride is about to be turned into mourning. So, listen, man. This place is going down with violence. Yeah, they celebrate now, and soon it's going to be destruction, man. So, call hello, Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. Hey, man, so the next lesson, I'm going to say Shalom. And this place is done. And yeah, they can celebrate 250 years all they want, man. But that, like the Lord said, you know, their pride is going to be turned in the morning. Shalom.